Greenland, the silent battlefield that still shapes American power. There is a place most maps reduce to white silence, a land that appears empty, distant, irrelevant. No cities dominate it, no highways carve through it, no crowds gather there. And yet beneath that frozen surface lies one of the most strategically decisive territories on Earth. Whoever controls this land does not simply control territory. They control air corridors between continents, missile warning time, satellite tracking geometry, submarine transit corridors, rare mineral access, climate intelligence, future shipping lanes. Power does not live there because people live there. Power lives there because signals, weapons, and resources pass over it. This land is Greenland. Long before modern political attention returned to it, Greenland had already shaped global power once before. Not through conquest, not through invasion, but through precision, information dominance, and silent infrastructure. During the Second World War, Germany discovered something most military planners had overlooked. Weather itself was a weapon. North Atlantic storm systems originated in Arctic air masses. Whoever could measure, predict, and transmit those patterns could schedule bombing raids, shield naval convoys, anticipate enemy movements, and dominate timing in warfare. Germany quietly constructed a network of autonomous weather and radio stations across Greenland's coastlines and interior ice zones. These installations were camouflaged, encrypted, self-sustaining, and staffed by elite technical operators trained to survive isolation. They transmitted atmospheric data directly to German naval and air command. Greenland became an invisible sensor grid feeding operational intelligence into German strategy. The effect was immediate. Submarine ambush success improved. Flight planning became more precise. Convoy interception efficiency increased. The Allies initially underestimated the advantage because Greenland appeared geographically empty. But emptiness was exactly what allowed Germany to operate unnoticed. Control did not require population. It required data. When the United States eventually discovered these installations, it triggered a strategic shock. Greenland was legally Danish territory. Denmark had fallen to Germany, which meant Greenland existed in a geopolitical vacuum. A hostile power had embedded intelligence infrastructure directly along North America's northern approach corridor. The Atlantic was no longer a buffer. It was a transit lane. Weather was shaping battlefield outcomes. The United States moved rapidly to secure airfields, establish patrol routes, expand Arctic logistics capability, and build permanent monitoring infrastructure. This moment effectively created America's modern Arctic defense doctrine. But the consequences did not end with the war. The vulnerability Germany exposed permanently reshaped American military architecture. Greenland became a fixed node in early warning systems, ballistic missile detection geometry, satellite uplink pathways, polar aviation routing, and undersea monitoring networks. Missile trajectories between Eurasia and North America naturally arc across polar space. Early detection depends on sensors positioned in that arc. Reaction time determines survivability. Greenland buys reaction time. Every U.S. strategic defense model still assumes Greenland is operationally secure. If it becomes technologically compromised, politically unstable, or externally influenced, American response windows compress dramatically. In modern conflict, seconds define outcomes. Germany's Arctic operations also extended beyond weather. Scientific teams cataloged geological potential. Greenland holds rare earth elements, uranium deposits, zinc, iron ore, and offshore hydrocarbon prospects. These materials now underpin semiconductor manufacturing, missile guidance systems, battery supply chains, satellite infrastructure, and renewable energy storage. Mineral security has become national security. Global competition for these resources has intensified. China has invested aggressively in Arctic mining access. Russia has militarized Arctic transit routes. Europe remains energy exposed. The United States depends on supply chains that increasingly intersect Greenland's geology. Yet Greenland remains politically autonomous under Denmark. This creates a structural tension. From a strategic perspective, Greenland is too critical to be diplomatically uncertain. Infrastructure investment, mineral licensing, military expansion, and sensor deployment require negotiation with local governance and Danish sovereignty frameworks. That introduces friction into systems designed for speed, redundancy, and control. Germany's wartime lesson remains embedded in Pentagon risk modeling. Silent access can become strategic dominance long before political alarms activate. Climate dynamics are accelerating this pressure. Arctic ice retreat is opening new shipping corridors that bypass traditional choke points. Subsea cable routing is expanding. Satellite orbital geometries increasingly rely on polar relay stations. Hypersonic missile flight paths remain polar optimized. Greenland sits at the intersection of all 5 domains: communications, climate intelligence, mineral extraction, early warning, and transit logistics. Modern political attention toward Greenland is not symbolic. It reflects accumulated military assessments, intelligence projections, resource modeling, and climate forecasting. The same structural incentives that pulled Germany northward now pull every major power toward Arctic positioning. Geography has not changed. Technology has amplified its importance. The deeper issue is not ownership, it is alignment. Who builds the infrastructure? Who controls the data flow? Who regulates extraction rights? Who secures airspace integration? Who maintains sensor dominance? These are not questions resolved by diplomacy alone. They shape strategic equilibrium for decades. Germany demonstrated that remote territories are not empty. They are silent multipliers of power. Information dominance outweighs territorial presence. Arctic access determines continental security. The United States has spent generations correcting the vulnerability exposed by German Arctic operations. Yet sovereignty limitations persist. History rarely repeats through identical events. It repeats through preserved incentives. Greenland still offers the same strategic leverage Germany exploited, now multiplied by satellites, artificial intelligence, missile defense architecture, mineral scarcity, and climate volatility. Greenland does not dominate headlines because nothing explodes there. Nothing explodes there precisely because everyone understands what would happen if someone achieved uncontested dominance over it. Power today is not built only in cities or markets. It is built in sensor coverage, reaction time, supply resilience, data corridors, and environmental positioning. The frozen silence of Greenland hides one of the loudest strategic signals on Earth. Whoever secures the silent spaces shapes future conflicts before they begin. Greenland is not empty. It is decisive.